It is time to choose yourself. It is time to recognize the full potential that you are. It is time to look at your credentials, look at who you are as a person, and start asking yourself the deeper questions as to why you do not believe that you are worth more.
Try and explain it to the blind. May you wake up from inside. See the truth through the third eye. Let your heart be your guide. Light up the way. Let your heart be your guide. Free from your pain, it ain't a mistake, cause you choose your fate.
Hi guys, I hope you're having an amazing, beautiful, positive day. I am sending you so much love and so much peaceful, balanced energy. It is Misha with Feels with Meesh, guys. Thank you for joining this podcast episode today. This is one that some of you need this conversation. It's a really tough one. I'm going to be straight to the point, tough love. I'm that friend that's always going to tell you the truth. And quite honestly, that's the friend that a lot of people can't stand, but they know that I have your best interest at heart because I want you to be the best version of yourself. I want you to be happy. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you control your life. You have authority over your life. You make decisions for yourself, but take it from somebody who has been in situationships for years. I finally chose myself, finally walked away from that as a repeating pattern, and my life has changed and it's so much peacefuler. And this is a conversation that you need right now. And if you found this video, you found this message, it's for a reason. Because we get stuck in this cycle with somebody where we are just constantly in this waiting energy, in this pick me energy, in this desperate energy for, a relationship ultimately, or to be chosen, or to be somebody's priority, or to be important in somebody's life. And by accepting this situationship, you are allowing this behavior. You're allowing this person to show up and really not give you what you want, what you desire, and what you deserve. And really, we don't get what we want in life. We get what we believe we deserve. And so there's something in you that is allowing this behavior because internally you just really badly want to be loved, chosen, and adored. And what happens is we grow these attachments to people that keep us stuck in this pattern with this person and this cycle, and it never evolves or gets better because we're showing up the same. And so this message is for you. You found it for a reason. It's time to step away from that situationship. It's time to realize that you have been putting your finger on the burner, touching the burner one too many times. And it really takes us losing ourselves in these situationships. It's not even a relationship. That's a reality check that you might need to have right now. Because if it was a relationship, you would be chosen. You would be prioritized. You would be made official, right? You would be, important enough in that person's life that they would choose you. And we got to understand that people are only reflecting back to us how we feel about ourselves. And I'm going to give you guys a scenario so that you can just put into perspective, what's really happening here and how you're really condoning this behavior to continue, because you really have this deep-rooted feeling and need for, that person just to be in your life, this attachment that you have to them, this addiction to their energy, right? If you were applying to a job and you had all these credentials, you knew what you wanted, and you had a value on your work and what you feel you deserve to be paid in a workplace because of all the credentials that you have and just who you are as an individual, what you believe you deserve in a workplace environment. And you go and you apply at this job and they have an interview with you and they say, hey, we think you're great, but your asking price for, to be hired is a lot higher than what we're willing to give you. So this is what we're going to offer you as what we believe that you deserve, to work here, whatever. Now, if I put it in that perspective, as far as like a business transaction, you guys are going to be like, no, immediately, no, that makes no sense. Why would I take a job where I've worked all these years, I have all these credentials, and they're offering me less than my asking price, right? Why would I take that job? Well, you're right. Why would you take that job? That makes no sense. Why would you take that job? It literally makes no sense. So why is it that in your relationships, you desire to be chosen, cherished, loved, adored, and valued, but the person is only bringing you sex? They can't even take you out on a date. They can't even buy you flowers. They can't even ask you how you're doing. You're waiting days or 2 days, 3 days to hear back from this person. Why is it that you're only accepting that behavior? The minute they contact you, the minute they call you, you're like, oh my God, and you're so excited to hear from them. And, your anxiety, you feel like anxious but so excited that at the same time, like this person has so much power over you that they put you in this emotional roller coaster in your life where you're just accepting the breadcrumbs of what they're giving you. Why is that? Because that's all you believe that you deserve. That is all that you believe that you deserve. Now, consciously, you might know this doesn't feel good. I believe that I deserve more, but internally, what you're accepting is what you are placing your value on, is what you're accepting. So again, I bring back the business scenario. In a job, you know your value and worth, and you step up to the plate in your work environments where if somebody lowballs you in your job or as a job offer, you're not going to take the job. You're not going to take it. It won't be worth your time. It won't be worth your money. It won't be worth the money. It just won't be worth it for you, right? Now, if you took that job and you took a pay cut, you would be complaining about it every day. You would be miserable. You would be feeling so bad about yourself because you are demoting yourself, right? You're demoting yourself in your life, knowing that your worth and value is much higher than what they have given you and offered you. Do you see? Now, in your love and relationships, you are accepting breadcrumbs because you actually don't believe that you deserve more. Now, I'm your big sis. I did this shit for years and it was exhausting. And it was the giving energy, the pursuing energy, that masculine energy, that wounded feminine energy, that feeling of not being good enough. And any little bit of attention from the person that I loved was like magnified to its fullest capacity because I really had no value placed on myself. And no matter how many times you say, oh my God, I know what I bring to the table. I know I'm this. I know I'm that. It's an internal belief that you hold that you are not enough. And so I'm here to tell you that you have some work to do. Because the unwillingness to walk away from that which is not serving you is the very thing that is hurting you. We keep ourselves there. No one's holding a gun to our head. We keep ourselves there. Now, if you are confident enough to walk away and say, you know what? I have had such a great time with you. I really enjoy my time with you, but I'm looking for something more. I want a commitment with somebody. I want to be, in a relationship. I haven't seen anything that's been progressive with you heading towards that area. So I'm just going to, take a step back. It's been such a great time. If you place that confidence in yourself and you walked away from that which was not serving you, you're either freeing up space for somebody else to show up in your life that is going to value you, choose you, right? Because you have chosen yourself. That's what choosing yourself looks like. And that, or the person that you have politely stepped away from in this situationship and ended the cycle with them will come back and confidently choose you because you've confidently chosen yourself. You see, people are just mirroring to us how we feel about ourselves. And I am living proof of this. This is why my podcast, I share with you guys my journey and the insecure girl that was auditioning for people, that was trying to be chosen, loved, adored, and valued because she so desperately wanted people to choose her or a person to choose her. And so she would accept behavior that was way less than what she deserved, that being me. I went through this cycle for years in my life, and it was absolutely exhausting being the feminine woman in a masculine giving and pursuing energy. You are going to exhaust yourself. You are going to breed resentment in your relationships. And when you're in this resentment energy, it's a very unattractive energy. It doesn't magnetize that person to you in any type of way. Now, the other thing that I will say is if you are laying with somebody, you are giving them your body before commitment. And you are expecting more from them. What makes you think that that person is going to put in effort to give you more when they've already gotten what they wanted? That's a really tough thing to hear. It's a really tough thing to hear. But if you have given up the goods long before having that person put in work for you at all, it doesn't motivate that person to put in any type of work for you. And that's not to say that if you've slept with this person already, you cannot change the dynamic that you're experiencing with them. But to do that, you have to be willing to walk away from the little breadcrumbs that they're giving you and place so much value on yourself in order for them to come back in a different energy. By you accepting the breadcrumbs, giving your body to them without that commitment, you're only harming yourself. The powers that be, they do such a great job in promoting promiscuous behavior and promoting recreational sex, giving our bodies away, like it's like a game of some sort. The music industry, the television shows, the movies, all of this promotes recreational sex. I mean, even the medical industry, being that they promote birth control and things of that sort, to young kids in their teenage years, promoting these things to them through the television shows that we watch. And it just being so normalized when, as a woman, this is very real, as a woman, every time that you give your body away to a man and he doesn't pursue you or choose you, you are feeling this rejection. There's this wound of rejection that just keeps getting triggered and triggered and triggered, and you're only hurting and harming yourself. And the more that you sit in that space of rejection, it chips away at your self-worth over time. And this is why so many people are in situationships. They're not in these committed relationships because there's no incentive for a man to commit to you in the first place. You see, for a man to choose a woman, he has to actually invest himself into her. Men look at things like a business deal. The more he's invested in you, invested his time, pursued action-oriented things when it comes to a woman, the more money he's invested in a woman, the more time he's invested in a woman, the things that he does for you, that is how a man falls in love. It's like an investment that they make. Otherwise, there's no incentive for them to do that if you're doing all the work for them. And this is why these situationships even happen, or they last for so long, because the woman doesn't value herself. And so she allows herself into this space of giving, and accepting breadcrumbs when on a soul level as a woman, you really desire to be cherished, chosen, and valued, right? But again, that's where your value is. That's the value you place on yourself. If you really truly valued more, you would know that it exists, and you would turn away from anything that is not aligning with the value that you place on yourself. This video or this podcast today, this message to you, big sis Meesh talking to you here. Doesn't matter how old you are listening to this. This is something you need to hear. If the man is not cherishing You are not chosen by him. You are not valued and prioritized by him. He is not aligning with what you deserve as a woman. The highest form of, being cherished and valued and adored by a man is to be committed. That man being committed to you, providing that security, emotionally secure, right? More than anything, to feel emotionally secure with the man that you're giving your body to. Because at the end of the day, these situationships, heaven forbid, how many children are born out of wedlock? They're not born with the security of a mother and a father together in a committed relationship. This is not to shame any of you that already have children out of wedlock, but you would understand what I'm talking about, because how difficult has your life been without the support of a partner who has chosen you and set a foundation, a grounding that you and your family are growing from, right? These situationships, there's no foundation. And so things like that can happen. You can catch something from this person, heaven forbid, you could have a baby with them. There's just so many things that can happen when we indulge in these situationships that can be avoided if you just knew your value and your worth and knew that it existed in the world and knew that the work that you had to do in order for you to step into that version of yourself that had that value and worth. That's a solo journey. To be confident, to be in love with yourself, to adore and cherish and choose yourself first. Remember, other people mirror us. So choosing yourself, walking away from that situationship, the person that's not choosing you, choosing yourself, right? Cherishing, loving, and adoring yourself, going to the gym, doing things that bring you joy, doing things that make you feel fulfilled in your life, right? That is a very magnetizing energy. Now, what do I do in my life that brings me joy? I mean, these videos obviously bring me so much joy. I love to go to the gym. I love to eat. I love to eat. If you guys know that. I'm also starting a new YouTube channel called Mukbang Meesh, where I'm just going to be eating on that channel. If you guys are interested, join me on there. I love to take care of myself, do my hair, do my Botox, go to hot yoga. Hot yoga brings me so much joy. It's like my therapy session. That is specific to me. That is what keeps me feeling my best self. That is what magnetizes my energy. Now, are you the girl or the guy that's been trying to put all your eggs in one basket with this person and trying to prove to them of your value and worth? You have been so obsessing over them in your life that you're not doing anything but focusing on them throughout your day and wondering, wishing, and worrying when they're going to come back around. And the minute that they do, you're just drop everything you're doing just to be there for them. That's a very unattractive energy, because as a divine being, as the goddess that you are, as the God that you are, you come first in your life. You have to place yourself on that pedestal in order for others to see you in that light as well. And you haven't been doing that by choosing somebody before yourself, by begging them to choose you, by wishing and hoping and in this desperate energy for them to choose you. All we end up doing is pushing them away and continuing the cycle of not being chosen. And it's a painful cycle. Again, it's like burning yourself on the burner. How many times does this person have to call you at 3 a.m. in the morning to be like, hey, what are you doing? And you're already half asleep. Come over, and you get up and you drive to their house to hook up with them. How many times are you out drinking, posting on your Instagram, posting a photo, posting your stories, only to see that they have watched your story? How many times do you say no to plans because you think, wish, and hope that that person is going to call you and ask you to do something? How many times do you have to be ghosted and accept that person back with that type of behavior in order for you to realize that you are the problem? You are not placing value on yourself. You are aligning with the lowest version of yourself, and you're allowing somebody to treat you this way. At what point in our life do we realize that we are the problem? I got sick and tired of being in that cycle of existence, begging somebody to choose me, begging them to love me. Please love me. I'm so good to you. All I do is good things. I give. I'm showing up. I'm always here for you. And when is it my turn? Like, I had to realize that I was the problem. You see, I had a very low self-concept. I don't have that no more. You know, the self-concept where you immediately feel anxiety in your life. Anytime this person enters back in your life, you're afraid that they're going to just reject you. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Time and time again, you go back only to repeat the same cycle with them. And finally, when it gets unbearable and you're like, okay, immediately no, and you walk away, it's so hard for you to do that because you have just accumulated so much attachment to that person, and your whole world becomes them, and then your life, you have no life outside of that. And so you have to then rebuild from the ground up when you detach from them. And there's this time of mourning that has to take place, this detoxification that needs to take place, and you finally start feeling normal again after you've detoxed from them for a while, only to return back to the same cycle with them. And it doesn't ever change because you haven't really changed. Maybe you changed, maybe your weight or your dress size went down a bit because you started going to the gym, but the internal work that you did not do is obviously showing there's no progression because you haven't done the internal work to change the beliefs that you hold of yourself, to raise in your value. The same way that, as I was speaking about going into a job interview and having those credentials down. Now, to get those credentials, you had to go to school. You had to do your graduate programs. You had to do your certificates. You had to get certificates. You had to take time to do hours. Maybe you had to get a CPR license, or just some type of license in order for you to even be working in the field that you're in. There was so many years that went into you pouring into the value of you, tests that you had to take, exams you had to take, all the hours that you had to take of travel to go to school, and all of that to say that a job or a place is going to tell you that they don't think you're valuable enough for them. So they're going to lower your value. Now, you would be batshit crazy to accept the job, to be honest with you. Being that there's a billion jobs out there that are willing to take you in and give you what you are deserving of, and some even more. Some places could even pay you more. But you're willing to settle for less because you are just so desperate for the job. Do you see where I'm going with this? You're so desperate for the job. Now, it takes work on your self-concept to actually look at the list of credentials that you have and start reflecting on that list and believing in the value of that list. Okay. Now, for myself, I get it. I'm a good looking girl and I have all these great things going on for me. The podcast, the social media pages, just in general, like a bunch of great things going on for me. But did I believe in my value as a person and what I have to offer? No, I didn't. Because on a subconscious level, I was still that little girl who was trying to be seen and heard in her, childhood and understood. And so that then bled out into all areas of my life where I found myself trying to audition and prove myself and be worthy and valuable for people to choose me. And it translated in my love and relationships. And so to do the work to end those cycles, I had to take a really big deep dive and a look as to why I did not believe in the credentials that I had to offer. Why is it that I'm a woman that's, they say, what do you bring to the table? Well, I bring the whole fucking table. I bring the table setting. I bring the chairs. I literally bring the ambiance. I bring the energy. I bring it all. But I really only saw the table when I didn't believe in myself. I really only saw the table. And so I was just hoping that somebody would choose the table, knowing damn well now that I'm the entire experience. You see what I'm saying? So some of you are just sitting at the table, hoping that someone chooses the table, and you've got some work to do in order for you to recognize the full potential that you are. And it starts with you walking away and saying no to what is not serving your highest potential. And it hurts, okay? I want you to know that. It is not easy. There's so much anxiety in walking away because there's this fear that the person won't come back, or they don't love you, or they're going to move on. And that might very well be. But if that is the case, then that person was never for you in the first place. And you have to know your value and your worth enough to know that the right place, the right person is going to choose you. Much so like the work, the work scenario that I was giving you. There's billions of jobs out there. If that one place is not willing to give you what you deserve, then there's going to be another job that will, my friends. There is. And you got to know I'm living proof. I'm living proof. And I'm here to snap you back to reality. It is time to choose yourself. It is time to recognize the full potential that you are. It is time to look at your credentials, look at who you are as a person, and start asking yourself the deeper questions as to why you do not believe that you are worth more. You are worth so much more. You are worth being chosen. You are worth being cherished. You are worth being adored. You are worth being prioritized. Your happiness should be your person's priority. And the minute that you start telling yourself that, I say this every day. I literally say, oh my God, my happiness is my person's priority. Like literally, it's his priority. Like making me happy makes him so happy. It's his priority. And that's something that I believe into my core now. And guess what? It then is reflected back to me in my reality. Whereas in the old version of me that didn't love herself, that just saw herself sitting at the table and wishing, hoping someone would sit at the table with her, was sitting in a space of, well, I really hope that they choose me. So let me do and be whatever I can to be chosen. Right? It's very unattractive energy. You are betraying your highest potential of yourself. And I have another podcast on that. The other thing that I will say is, like, with these podcasts, you guys, like, thank you for being so patient with me. So patient. Because I know the last few episodes have been a little all over the place because I'm just getting used to this filming thing. Trust me, I was so used to just waking up in the morning, making my tea, laying in bed, looking crusty, dusty, no one is seeing me, and just doing a video. And it'd be so just me and you know. Now there's preparation here, and I'm trying to figure out how and what makes most sense. And the past couple episodes, even I realized I was in a chasing energy because I have been posting them and then looking at the response of how people are, receiving it. And, that looking and seeking is still that chasing energy. And I even found myself doing things like saying like, well, if you guys want to join this community, like, share, and subscribe to be here. And then being so hopeful that people would like, share, and subscribe. And really, the value that I place on myself, like, this is like when your self-concept is really shifted. The value that I place on myself is quite literally that I don't care for everybody to align with me, because I know that in reality, that's not what is going to make sense. But I know the value I place on myself, and that being my true authentic self is what is going to align me with the people that are meant to be in my circle, right? To be trying for YouTube It felt so inauthentic. It really did. Like for me to be like, hey, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Like, to be quite honest with you, that is not something that me as a person would ever really say, because it's just not. So I'm going to nix that saying altogether. And if you're authentically with me on this journey, then you're with me, and we're ride or die together, because that's the type of people I want involved in my work. And for the people that just don't align and they don't understand it, or they don't vibe with my energy, maybe it's triggering to them. It doesn't matter. It's not for me, and that's fine. And again, that's where you really know your value and worth. It's not placed in anything outside of yourself. It quite literally is a state of being where you just know who you are, and you know that the people that are for you are going to align with that. And so, guys, thank you so much for being here. I am sending you so much love and peaceful, balanced energy. If you guys are interested in booking personal sessions with me, maybe you're somebody going through a situationship right now and you're having a really hard time detaching, you're having a really hard time healing, you're having a really hard time letting go, you can email me, booking@feelswithmeesh.com, and we can sit down for a one-on-one and go over some of the things that you're dealing with right now, and I will help you find some clarity in your situation. All right, guys. Love you so much. I hope you have an amazing, beautiful, positive day, guys, because you deserve it.